Do you remember Shaman King? If you grew up watching Fox Kids and 4Kids on Saturday morning, you'd know it as that one show with the ridiculously catchy theme song. And while it may have only been a part of your childhood for a short time in the early 2000s, much like other dubbed series from that era like Digimon and Metabots, Shaman King kind of never really stopped in Japan, with 2 ongoing manga series right now and a brand new reboot that just premiered. Now, I remember having fond memories of Shaman King, but I will be the first to admit I am no expert. However, my interest in the new reboot led me down a rabbit hole of catching up on what I've missed, and I've compiled a whole bunch of things you should know before checking out the 2021 reboot series. So this video isn't necessarily for the ride or die Shaman King fans who have been with the series for 20 years, but rather for people who maybe checked it out for a minute back in the early 2000s, or for people who have never heard of Shaman King but this new spring 2021 anime looks kinda dope to them. So behold, the bite-sized history of Shaman King. Shaman King 2021 is the second attempt at an animated adaptation of Takei Hiroyuki's Shaman King, a Shonen Jump action series that ran for 6 years from 1998 to 2004 and was collected into 35 volumes. The show was adapted into a TV anime that hit Japanese airwaves in 2001 and wrapped up in 2002 after 64 episodes. In 2003, it received an English dub for the Western world, complete with one of the best English dub openings of all time. Now, if you were listening to those dates, you'll notice that the anime series ended in 2002, 2 whole years before the manga wrapped up. The show had a bit of a divergent and rushed ending as compared to the manga, and this has been a pain point for fans of the series who for decades have been frustrated that the anime adaptation doesn't do justice to the source material. Shaman King diehard fans will tell you absolutely check out the manga as it's the true story. The way that Shaman King ended years before the manga it was based on is honestly not unlike what happened with the original anime adaptation of Fullmetal Alchemist, which ran from 2003 to 2004, while the manga it was based off of didn't conclude until 2010. As many of you know, Fullmetal Alchemist had a second, much more faithful to the source material anime adaptation, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which benefited from a 1-to-1 adaptation of the manga. In a lot of ways, we can view what's happening with Shaman King 2021 as similar to what happened with Brotherhood. The anime is getting a second chance and doesn't need to improvise its ending since the 35 volumes of Shaman King have been complete for over 15 years. Basically, if all goes well, this 2021 series is shaping up to be Shaman King Brotherhood. Another great thing Shaman King 2021 has going for it is that if this thing goes well, there is now a plethora of Shaman King content to adapt into anime to continue the story if the new series gains popularity and takes off. There are 6 major Shaman King spin-offs, including sequels and prequels, so let's quickly run through them. First, there's Shaman King Zero, a prequel series that ran between 2011 and 2014, following several of the main characters before the events of the main Shaman King series. Next, there was Shaman King Flowers, originally running from 2012 to 2014 and set 16 years after the end of Shaman King. It stars Hana, the son of series main character Yo and Anna. This first part of Hana's story ended abruptly when the magazine it was published in, Jump X, was discontinued. But Hana's adventures would continue in 2018's Shaman King the Superstar, which is a continuation sequel to Shaman King Flowers. Stepping back from the Yo clan for a minute, there is also 2018's Shaman King Red Crimson and 2020's Shaman King Marcos, with both series seeing manga artist Jet Kusamura joining series creator Takei Hiroyuki. Now, you'll probably have noticed these spin-offs I mentioned, they're all relatively recent, which is to say Shaman King is truly in the middle of a renaissance, and so with the knowledge of all that recent and ongoing manga, you're probably starting to realize now it's not as random as you thought it was that this show from your childhood is suddenly coming back. This is Shaman King's big moment to wow the world, and I for one am ready and willing to give this new series a go. So that is everything worth mentioning leading into Shaman King 2021. If you've enjoyed the video so far, please leave a like. If you read all the manga, comment on what you think people should read from those manga I mentioned, and consider subscribing to this channel. But hey, the first episode is now out, so you probably want to know what I thought about it, huh? So keep in mind, this is only one episode, but so far so great. The premiere is pretty identical story-wise to what we got in the original series, which makes sense, and so it was this cool bit of deja vu and nostalgia. The new art is stunning, which you'd know already if you saw those trailers, the lighting and shadow work in particular. I think it's so interesting how both the 2001 and 2021 series are visually faithful to the manga and yet can look so different. It really is this cool look into how anime style has evolved over 20 years. As far as action animation goes, there wasn't anything too explosive to write home about in this first episode, but it's not cause for alarm. The first fight of the series is still pretty low stakes, so if you were disappointed that this first fight didn't blow you away, keep in mind things only get better and more intense from here. We'll know after a few more episodes how good the show can look when it wants to. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this and seeing when it diverges and how. The latest news is that 52 episodes are confirmed with room for more, I guess depending on how well it performs. So there you go, that's everything you need to know to get you going on the 2021 Shaman King anime in a nice condensed video. I don't like taking up too much of your time. Let me know, are you locked in, gonna watch every single episode, or are you going to give it a few more weeks and decide? I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be watching week to week, just like I've been doing with Digimon's 2020 reboot, and I would love to go on this adventure of watching weekly with you all. It's like it's Saturday morning in 2003 all over again with new Digimon and waiting for us every weekend. So if you're down to go on this Shaman King adventure, hit subscribe, as I'm sure to be talking about the new Shaman King episodes every chance I get. And if it's your first time hearing about that Digimon reboot I mentioned, I cover that here too every Sunday, so feel free to catch up on that. But until then, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.